Well, somehow FSD, I think, managed to miss its left turn onto whatever this is. So the Tesla has gone rogue. It decided to turn right for
literally no reason.
Also, FSD reacts kind of poorly to police officers with lights on, I've noticed. So that is where the car tried to park. But we got pulled over by the lovely police department of Chiefland, Florida. Well, we just got an update rolling in. I'll connect to my hotspot here in a second. But we're downloading 14.2.1, so that FSD is much better at following directions than I am. So we did full parking spot to parking spot FSD, not a single issue. Again, parking right next to someone, which is a little strange. I guess it gives it a better reference of where to park, but so they'll charge the car, but they won't plug it in. So I have to go meet the valet guy and go to the car and plug it in, which is a little bit odd, but okay, I guess. What's up, guys? It's Brandon Flash. You're joining us in Clearwater Beach-ish area, Florida. We are in our Tesla Model Y long-range rear-wheel drive, and we are headed from here to Biloxi, Mississippi, maybe? Bethany, for anyone that's saying that I'm abusing my pregnant wife for putting her in the car for so long, this is actually her idea. I suggested a shorter trip, but just for the record, this is her idea. So, anyway, let me show you guys the route. If you haven't already, check out part 1. We went from Charlotte all the way down to here-ish. We looked at the car yesterday. We have decided not to go with it, as much as I kind of wanted to go with it. Bethany vetoed.
Accurate.
She does not approve of the like shop nationwide and then sort by cheapest method that I typically do.
I don't disagree with it. I just think that there was not enough pros to this one to leap at it.
I disagree, but okay. She's tapping my hand. That was like a little violin. Yeah. Anyway, let me show you guys the route here. So here we have some of our initial stops that I know I want to do. I also want to add a stop in Robertsdale, which is at I don't actually know where that is. Somewhere over here, I think. I think it's just west of Pensacola. There we go. It's at Buc-ee's. So we'll put that there. So these are the stops that I know I want to make. There's a new IONNA station at Wawa just north of here. So we're over all the way over here. Madeira Beach, Clearwater area, near St. Petersburg, Tampa. And then we're going to be going all the way up the coast along the panhandle and then across. So let's see what Tesla route planning wants to do. And here you can see our trip. So we've driven 694 miles so far on this trip overall. This stop will probably get adjusted since we'll charge a little bit at IONNA, probably up to 80% or something. So we'll probably end up going, actually, we'll probably have to stop here regardless, actually, because there's no charging here other than these two that we have to stop at both of them. So that's not ideal. That's a lot of stops. Let's try best amenities and fewer stops. See what that does.
24 minutes.
That's a long day. So it's currently projecting we'll get to Biloxi at like 9 p.m., which is not ideal.
Maybe we stopped in Alabama instead.
Maybe. And then we can go to Biloxi tomorrow and then continue back. Today is Thanksgiving, for context. So today is Thursday. We need to be back in Charlotte on Sunday because we have stuff to do on Monday in Charlotte, including going to work. So let's get on the road. We'll head to IONNA and then we'll continue on from there. Looks like pretty quick stops all along. So maybe if we stay a little bit longer at some of these, we can skip. So maybe if we stay a little bit longer here at Crystal River, looks like it's at a Taco Bell Wawa. then we can skip the next one. That'd be nice. Let's see what else is there. Looks like, that looks like a Sonic maybe? I think this is a Wawa. That's probably the Taco Bell if I had to guess. So it looks like a pretty decent stop there. We're going through some interesting parts of Florida, that's for sure. I don't think I've ever gone this way before. Or at least it's been a long time if I have.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see if these are all V3. So V3, 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 and V3, and V3. So at least we won't be using any old school chargers. I have done the entire Florida like loop basically in my old Model S many years ago. And that was an adventure because that was before there were a lot of version 3s, and I also couldn't really take advantage of version 3s. So we're going to cross over 1,100 miles. And then the next episode, I assume after this, we'll be going from Mississippi-ish all the way through Alabama, through Atlanta, and then back to Charlotte that way. So definitely hit the subscribe button if you haven't already, so that way you can tune in for that adventure as well. Let's hop out of the car. I'll show you guys the setup, and then we'll take some pictures and head on the road. So here's the car, Model Y, long range, rear wheel drive, right before the refresh came out. My very pregnant wife. We have the EV-based Tempest wheel covers on, so we still have some aero benefit. And I did test those on my previous Model Y, and they're negligible difference compared to factory OEM aero covers. We've got the car fairly loaded up, but nothing too crazy. And weather's pretty mild. It's, I think, 70s, maybe even 80s. Some light wind and kind of overcast. So pretty good day for efficiency's sake. And there we have it. And another day of supervising. We are on the road. It is 10:20 in the morning. I don't think we'll cross into Central Time. I don't really know where that time change is on the southern coast. Maybe Mississippi, if I can speak.
Don't know.
Interestingly, there's an American Legion right next to the hotel that we stayed at there, which was actually pretty nice. We had a waterfront view of McDonald's.
Yeah.
It was quite something. And we are preconditioning the battery for fast charging as we head to the IONNA, because it is in the nav. The Pensacola one is not yet in the nav. That site did just open, whereas the Largo one, I think, has been open a little bit longer. So that one is in the nav as a fast charger. So Tesla nav will precondition to third-party fast chargers now. We'll see you guys at Wawa. Well, we're here at IONNA at 56% state of charge. We're going to charge up probably 80%, run in, grab some food, snacks, whatever, since, again, it is Thanksgiving, so there's not much that's open, but Wawa is one of those places that's open. Let's get plugged in. So this site has CCS, NACS, and then that unit has both CCS and NACS and is the ADA unit, so that one's kind of interesting. Don't typically see that at IONNA. And we'll plug in here. And then I'll activate with the ChargePoint app. You can also just tap there, which actually works extremely well. But I like having my receipts stored, if I can get out my phone. So I like to use the ChargePoint app, and that way I can have all of that tracked in one place. So we are on 3A. There we go. Start charge. There we go. Start charge. Yes. And then that should go flashing green here in just a second. There we go. Now we're communicating. We're definitely not going to get full power because we're nowhere near low enough state of charge. Contactor is clicking, There we go, charging details. And Teslas ramp up power extremely fast. And just like that, we're at 104 kilowatt, which is about what I'd expect at 56%. So let me show you guys this site. Over here we have the transformer. Let's see what size this is, 1500 maybe? Oh, only a 750, that is a big boy 750. So there's probably some load management here if I had to guess, based on having four 400 kilowatt units, but a 750 kVA transformer. Over here we have the distribution cabinet. If I had to guess, this is probably a 2000 amp main with the four 600 amp branch circuit breakers. And then here we have the NACS and CCS unit. So NACS on this side, CCS on this side. And then you have the ground markings there. So CCS and NACS. And then over there, of course, you have the markings appropriate as well. So NACS 3A, 3B, and then CCS 1A, 1B, 2A, 2B. So, very nice site here. We'll head into Wawa. We'll charge up a bit, then we'll continue on the road. I will say I don't like that these are signed as handicap only, because then people will probably just not use them. They should be accessible charging, use last, or similar signage, but maybe Wawa or Florida or something required signage like that. But that is definitely not ideal, because people will be hesitant to use this, even though the precedent has been set in California that charging is the priority for handicap charging stalls like this, and that even if you are not handicapped, you can use this to charge. You should just use it last, so that way it remains available if needed for a handicapped EV driver, which at this point is realistically a very small subset of the population. We are charged up to 82% state of charge. You can see the always lovely Tesla charge curve there. We'll stop charging. Been here for 17 minutes. Stopping. Takes a second. We're done charging. The handle back, just like that. Can see that cost a whopping $8.27. See that there. Let me charge from 55 to 82% state of charge. And let's head on to Crystal River. Wonder if they actually could have made it all the way to Perry, but that's probably too far. Let's see. Bethany does want food, though. I talked her out of getting food here. Let's see if we can skip the next charger, maybe. No, it would want us to charge a bit more here. So we will remove that stop and just let it do its thing. Put my seatbelt on while it's doing that. So Crystal River it is. Let's do some FSD. It did not park when we got here because it didn't know where the chargers were. And it also did not have charger as an option for some reason for here. It only had parking lot. Sometimes FSD is a little indecisive. It also doesn't like driving through parking spots or under gas canopies, I've learned. And I surprisingly take this car to gas stations quite often because I get car washes. So I'll often take it out of the car wash, and then if I need to go under the canopy, I'll just drive and then re-engage once I get to the exit of the gas station, because otherwise it will go all the way around the edge of a gas station, which is usually not the most efficient way around. Okay, car, go. They're turning. We'll see you guys in Crystal River. Well, somehow FSD, I think, managed to miss its left turn onto whatever this is, I-19 or State Highway 19, US Highway 19 North. So we went past it, and now we're going and flipping around, doing a U-turn to get on. So I don't know if there just wasn't a left turn lane. Wasn't paying that close of attention to the nav, or if it legitimately just missed its left turn and had to do a U-turn instead. Strange.
I'm not sure.
Bethany, what are you eating?
Cantaloupe.
How is it?
It's good.
It's from Publix yesterday. Off we go. So the Tesla has gone rogue. It decided to turn right for
Literally no reason.
no apparent reason. We were just going straight on Highway 19 and it was turning right. I thought it was just going to continue straight, but then it decided to actually turn right. And now we're going through a parking lot to go back to where we just were. So the car is sentient, I guess. It's making its own decisions to turn when you don't need to turn. I really don't understand why this just did that.
It's having moments today.
Yeah, it did a little swerving out. I don't know what's going on with FSD today, because it's been great, and I haven't intervened or anything today, so like it's doing fine, but still some weird behavior.
I know you should have just intervened right now.
Well, it was too late by the time I realized what was happening. So now we're back going exactly where we were and where we just turned right for no reason. I'm very confused. Strange. We are pulling up to Crystal River, Florida Buc-ee's, or not Buc-ee's, Wawa Supercharger. I don't know why I'm saying Buc-ee's. We'll go to Buc-ee's later today. It looks like going that way is an option, but probably not the most efficient way. I think I've maybe been here before. This looks kind of familiar. I'll have to look and see if I've checked in here before. But FSD has been on the entire time. I did disengage once. There was a cop that was like about to pull out, or looked like they were about to pull out, had lights on, and I was going by them, and I just disengaged just in case I needed to like move over very quickly, because also FSD reacts kind of poorly to police officers with lights on, I've noticed. At least on, yeah, any emergency lights, at least on 14.1.4. Maybe that's improved on later versions, but I just took over just so that it wouldn't do anything weird. And also, the cop like had their lights on and then didn't pull out. Didn't pull out for a while. It was very strange.
It's parking not at a supercharger, or I guess
it's currently pulling into a. That's not a spot car. Where are you going, car? Okay, so I guess it was trying to pull into not only not a spot, but not a supercharger spot. It was very odd. Hopefully this is not 2A. That's 2A. So that's all it's down. Oopsies. I guess we're going to 2C. I am just a...
that's 1C, so...
Yeah, I'm just a mess over here. Don't mind me. But FSD did a great job. Yeah, but that's like parking, and it's not fully optimized for that.
Struggling with yellow light today.
Yeah, it has slammed on its brakes, like not like slam, but definitely braked.
Things moved in the back.
Yeah, like lights that I definitely would have just gone through as yellows versus stopping for, because there's no reason to stop if it's like highway speeds and it's turning yellow. Like they're yellow long enough that you can go through if you're going highway speeds as you're approaching it, or they have the light timing wrong. So I'm currently doing the infotainment reset, a scroll wheel reset, which I can do with one hand because I can just use thumb and pinky, which is kind of handy.
You're so cool.
To see if I maybe get 14.2, because yesterday Tesla made a post actually that they're doing a 14.2 trial for everyone. So everyone's getting a 30-day trial of FSD, and that is with 14.2, which means that everyone-ish is getting it. So I don't really know why I haven't gotten it yet. That's very odd. So reset will sometimes pull the Tesla server again and get it to work, but we'll see. Waiting for connectivity to come back before I plug in. That way it logs everything in Tessie. And then Bethany wants...
chirping.
I don't know. I don't know why it's chirping. I do hear that though. We'll give it a second. Anyway, Bethany wants food here. We only need a 5-minute stop because we're here at 50%, which is a really awkward state of charge, but there's nothing past this until like 110 miles. But if we do charge a little bit more here, then there are some options to continue further. So let me flip it and show you guys. So we don't have connectivity back yet, but this is where it wants us to go, Perry. But if we charge a little bit more, we can make it to here in Lamont or even Tallahassee. So I doubt we'll make it to Chipley, but we've got some options here that if we charge more than we need to, we can just go further, which is nice. We've got this initial gap here, which we can't make with the 50% to Perry. That's why we're stopping. But after Perry, there's some reasonable spacing because we're back onto a more normal route versus this is kind of a weird spot. I mean, you can see that the supercharger density in Florida is crazy, so no shortage. This is definitely a leg that they could use more on though. This is on the Alligator Alley Tollway. So let's get plugged in. We're at 50%. I'm curious what kind of speeds we'll get. Probably not great, probably 100-ish kilowatts. And I'll show you guys the site. They've got the cabinets raised over there, as you can see. There we go. Normal 7-second handshake. Ramping up. Should get about 100 kilowatt. There we go, 107. So even better than I expected, 111. Cannot complain about that. So that is where the car tried to park, between these bollards, which the car actually could fit there. But here you can see transformer, and then they've got the distribution cabinet and the supercharger cabinets raised up. That way if there's flooding or whatever, they're fine. Oddly, there's like some dog food and water there or something. That's a little strange. Got a 750 kVA transformer, which is normal. And then we've got a pull-in stall for trailers or whatever. Nice spot. Well, we got our Wawa, and while we were inside, we charged up to 83%. So the car itself swapped from here in Perry to Lamont on its own rerouting. And then I just checked, and looks like if we charge for another 2 minutes, so continue trip, we can make it all the way to Tallahassee. And there we go, actually, it's saying we can continue. So I'll unplug here in just a moment, but we'll go all the way here to Tallahassee, Thomasville Road. There's also a Starbucks. I'm skeptical of those hours today, but maybe we'll get lucky and the Starbucks will still be open by the time we get there. That'd be nice. I could use a pick-me-up there. Looks like that's probably the Starbucks, Circle K. Looks like the Circle K was under construction in this imagery, so probably a pretty nice newer Circle K too, which is nice. And then some other stuff around here. So we'll continue on. That's 170 miles. We're at 84%, which should be very easy. So let me just set the charge limit here to 85%, and then that way it'll just stop itself. Oh, oops. Well, whatever. Anyway, let's get out and unplug. I'll eat while we're... What was that? Why did you tap me?
Ask you to get me a drink from the trunk, please.
Okay. So we'll unplug. And we'll go on the road. So we'll again do an FSD start here. We're projecting 9% arrival to Tallahassee currently at 85%. 170 miles driving. And you can see our efficiency there, 781.3 miles driven this trip so far. I think I showed what the efficiency was in the last like. I don't 100% remember. Hopefully I did. Let's let FSD do its thing. That was a nice exit out of the parking lot. Got a new Model Y over there. Polite.
Old bus.
Yeah, old bus. Look at that. So, let's go on the road. We got pulled over by the lovely police department of Chiefland, Florida. Allegedly going 57 in a 45, which I'm very skeptical of based on pulling my data from all my Tesla logging. I think I was maybe actually going like 48, 50 and on the process of slowing down because it's one of those typical towns that the moment you cross into the town, the speed limit just drops twice for no reason. Even though it's still 2 lanes either direction, divided traffic. I was on FSD hurry, and like FSD hurry does a pretty good job at keeping with the speed of traffic. We're now on sloth, which goes exactly the speed limit until we get out of the bounds of this town. I was pulled over by a woman. She seemed fine, like nothing remarkable. She seemed nice enough. And then another officer pulled up, like as we were pulled over, because I had initially pulled over on the side of the road and I was just waiting for the officer to walk up to the window as one does, and I didn't realize she was speaking on the intercom to like pull into a parking lot that was up ahead. So I think she got a little annoyed at first. I didn't hear her the first time and she said it twice. It's like, sorry, my priority was not listening for orders over an intercom when I'm expecting a person to walk up, but whatever. But then another officer pulled up because they're clearly just running speed traps here on Thanksgiving of all days. And this guy, he like walked up, checked the VIN number against the registration, everything. It's like, this is a brand new car. That's at least like, everything is perfectly on the up and up. And then as the woman officer, the original officer that pulled me over, came back and like gave me back my license, registration, insurance, all that fun stuff. Then he walked up and he was like, do you feel that we inconvenienced you? And I was like, yes. He was just very rude and unnecessarily condescending.
Yes.
It's like, do you want an honest answer? Because I'm going to give you one. And yes, being pulled over is an inconvenience. So, anyway, I disengaged FSD for that, but re-engaged now, and we're now going in sloth. And then I don't think we're in this town for too much longer, but then I'll put it back on at least standard or hurry. Continue on. It's currently projecting a 3% arrival to Tallahassee. It tried to redirect us to Lamont, but I manually set it to Tallahassee. We'll see. I think we'll be fine to make it to Tallahassee. They were parked there off-road. Dropped off Bethany to use the restroom. Apparently she needs me, so let me get plugged in. We're at 112 miles driven, 334, 31% state of charge. So apparently Bethany needs me, so I am going over there. But let's plug in first. Well, apparently the gas station and restaurant are closed. Restaurant said they closed at 3 p.m. It was 2:58 when she got to the door and they were closed. So strange. Charged to 39%. I'm gonna unplug and I guess we'll just drive down this street and see and find a gas station or something that's open. Strange, even a gas station would be closed on Thanksgiving, but I guess now we have a little bit of a buffer to make it further after we stop somewhere. So TBD where we stop next. Well, we just got an update rolling in. I'll connect to my hotspot here in a second. But we're downloading 14.2.1, so that we'll have tomorrow unless we stop for a little while and then we can install it, but not going to stop the road trip just for sake of installing it. And unfortunately, you can't install it while you're DC fast charging. That'd be nice if you could. But that's nice. We're going to continue on to Tallahassee. Now that we have a little bit of a buffer, now we can really go no problem. And we found this Holiday Inn Express across the street from the gas station Supercharger. And hotels, if you walk in like you own the place, they'll never say anything if you use the restrooms. Just follow the signs usually. And I mean, especially pregnant women, they're definitely not going to say no to you, to her using the restroom. But yeah, we're getting back on the road. We're at 41% state of charge, downloading an update. Life is good. Let's see. I guess maybe this does go around. I think it goes around. Okay. But yeah, we'll see you guys in Tallahassee. Well, 58 miles later, we are exiting here in Tallahassee, Florida. Thomasville Road Supercharger out of Circle K. Should be pulling off here in a second. FSD is much better at following directions than I am, so... Well, except for earlier when it decided to pull into a parking lot on its own. Apparently sometimes it just makes up directions too, so there's that. But in general, FSD is doing a great job this whole trip. Hopefully 14.2.1 finishes downloading here soon, and maybe I'll ask on X to see how long it's actually taking to install for people. If it's only like 15 minutes, I might just do it. If it's like a 50 minute install, it'll have to wait till later. But Circle K is right up here. I can see the Superchargers from here. There's a few cars there. Looks like we've got 3 prefabricated Supercharger units on site. It is just amazing how far FSD has come. I remember when there's no way that FSD would have been able to handle a big intersection like this with turn lanes and all that. Now it's like, I have zero hesitation of letting FSD handle it. It will do it just fine. Now watch, it's probably going to mess up, but it's gotten really, really good. And you can see it already has charger selected as the destination type. And it has this in the correct lane. And it has us charging for 15 minutes to then go to Chipley to charge for 5 minutes to then charge for 8 minutes in Crestview. It doesn't know that we can charge at the Wawa IONNA. But like I said before, I don't have to pay on Superchargers. So even though IONNA is super reasonably priced, even reasonably priced is more expensive than free. So there's that. And then Robertsdale is at Buc-ee's, which is never a fast stop, just being Buc-ee's. So that'll probably be a little bit longer stop. We also need to figure out where we're staying tonight. I do not have a hotel booked. Needed to decide if we're going all the way to Biloxi or if we're going to stay somewhere else. Because we're kind of along this southern panhandle area. I don't know. we'll look and see what's available on Marriott, see what the best option is. Ideally something with charging. That always makes things a little bit easier, since tomorrow we'll probably hit the road. Maybe stay in, what is that, Montgomery or in Atlanta or something. We shall see. We're always a fan of Atlanta. So, we'll see what we do. Of course, this is the longest light ever, apparently. It's still red on the left turn lane. I think it should be going green here in a second, then that way you guys can see how it pulls into the supercharger. And in case anyone's curious, this is a gold vinyl, because Bethany, to quote her, is a gold girly, not a silver girly.
Not a quote. You know this better.
It's still a quote.
Yeah.
Goodness, this light is taking forever. There we go. Yeah, the Tesla next to us is probably going to the supercharger, as Bethany said. But they are not in the correct lane. Or maybe not there. Or they're going somewhere else. I don't know. U-turn.
This would be a convenient hotel.
Yeah, I was just thinking, the hotel actually looks pretty decent. It's a Spring Hill Suites. I've started to warm up to having superchargers at hotels. I still think level 2 makes more sense, but having a supercharger there is not a bad thing, because at least you know there will always be a good quantity of them, and that they're usually pretty reasonably priced, because I've seen a whole lot of level 2 stations at hotels that are significantly more expensive to use than supercharging, which makes absolutely no sense. So here we are. It is backing in for us. Looks like it's doing a pretty good job, centered in the spot. Should be able to plug in, if assuming it pulls back far enough. There we go. So we are at 13% state of charge, 59.4 miles since the last stop, which we only added like 11% at the last stop. We've got another Model Y pulling in. Let's get plugged in. We should be able to get full 250 kilowatts. Black performance with red seat covers. Interesting. Ramping up. This site is, let's see, 35 cents a kilowatt hour. Oh, oops, I just messed up our navigation. Well, whatever. I'll fix that in a minute. Looks like still ramping up a little bit, 214. So we'll do Biloxi, add a stop at Wawa, add a stop at Robertsdale. And we have to reorder this. Like that. That should be good. 217 kilowatt, nothing to complain about there. I love how Tesla Nav lets you add multiple destinations like how I just did, and then it will add stops and such around them if needed. And you can, of course, remove charging stops as needed as well. So we'll do continue trip. We've got a lot of trash we need to deal with. Happens when you're on the road and you have or when you're eating. So looks like we'll peak around 220 kilowatt, which is totally fine. And then we'll charge up until we're ready to go and continue on. So we're charged up to 49%. I'm just kind of looking at our next options here. We already have enough to make it to Mariana with 20%, which is 61 miles away. So I don't want to go there. That's too close. This one looks pretty mediocre. Burger King and I guess Express Lane is probably like a gas station. So maybe not the worst stop on a holiday like this. Hopefully they'd be open. Defuniak Springs is really not the most efficient stop because it's a decent bit off the interstate. But this is just the cutest little stop. If you go way back in my old videos, I've stopped here multiple times. And it's kind of just street parking in a little Florida city. Most of the stuff is probably closed today though on Thanksgiving, so not a great stop. And also a decent bit off the interstate, which is also not ideal, and a version 2 supercharger, also not ideal. If we had more time, I would probably stop through there because that is a cute little spot, and if it wasn't Thanksgiving when nothing's open. Crestview, this one is at a Starbucks, Panera, and a bunch of other places. I suspect the Starbucks might be open, if I had to guess. I don't really know. It is getting kind of late, and I feel like they may have closed early. Let's see how far away that is. So Crestview is, let's see. So it wants 13 more minutes of charging here. So it looks like that's 150 miles away, and only needs a little bit more charging. So that actually looks like a pretty good option to me. Got a Model 3, another Model Y pulling in. So I think that's probably what we're going to do. That's 2 hours away and only need 15% more of charge. So we'll probably leave at 70% or so and call it good. Well, I was browsing hotels. We're up to 79% state of charge. We'll get to Crestview with 11% after 146 miles. So I'll figure out a hotel there before we continue on. I'm kind of looking in this whole area-ish, so that'll be a good spot to figure out where we're staying tonight. And some plug. Just like that. We have an update pending because 14.2.1 is done downloading. I can get my seatbelt in. There we go. And let's get going. Turning right here. Yeah. I'm looking forward to the hesitation hopefully being gone in 14.2.1. Tomorrow should be a good day with lots of driving on 14.2.1. Let's see if this entire stretch is intervention free. The last leg was as well, I think. Yeah, from the hotel all the way to parking here. Completely uneventful, which is exactly how FSD should be. Even here driving into the sun, still totally fine. So projecting 12% arrival to Crestview. We'll see what we actually arrive with. We're pulling into the Supercharger. Let's see how it does. We're arriving at 3%. It was projecting 2%, so I guess we were slightly more efficient than expected. There's a double ATM there. That's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen something like that before. Looks like we're doing well. I would have parked one spot over personally because, I mean, it's version 3, so it doesn't matter from a power perspective, but just to have more room, why not? And just like that, we did a full, I'll do schedule, let's just schedule that for midnight. We did full parking spot to parking spot, FSD, not a single issue. We're at 3% state of charge. Turn on my Tessie logging because I want to have a little bit higher resolution data logging. Bethany, is Starbucks available for mobile order?
I don't know. I haven't figured out which one it is yet.
Just go nearby. It should be 0 miles away.
Then no.
Oh, here. No, you're not nearby. Oh. Search this area. There you go.
Nope.
And we should get full 250 kilowatts. There's a few cars here. And Starbucks does look open. There's someone at the window. And there's people inside. I don't know if they're about to close or what, but we're probably going to run over there. Because nothing else is open, that's for sure.
McDonald's down the road is.
Even Taco Bell looks closed. That's surprising. Taco Bell right over there. Lights are off. So, surprising to see. 170 kilowatts. Let's see. It should ramp up here in a moment. I can put it into service mode too. I can see the current that way. High voltage, charging. And there we go. 536 amps currently. That should ramp up here in a moment. Already doing 191 kilowatt. Battery is fairly warm, 46C. Usually it starts to ramp about 9%, which should come pretty darn quick. But fairly low pack voltage, 360 volts. I hear the cooling starting to ramp up. I don't know if the site is too busy for full power. So we should be ramping up here. This is a 12 stall, 8 stall. I messed up my nav again. Oops. This is a 8 stall site. I think maybe 11%. I really should know this curve better. Already enough to continue on the trip. So I guess looks like we're holding steady at about 191 kilowatt.
We have no trip. You just messed up the nav.
No, I know.
So
No,
we
we're
do
holding.
not have energy to go on the rest of our trip.
No, I was ignoring that because I know that's wrong.
Oh.
But I think we'll go check out Starbucks and see if we can get a mug there and continue on. Well, I think we're still in Florida. Yeah, we're still in Florida, so we don't actually need a mug there, but we'll use the restroom there. Well, we have actually booked our hotel. We're staying at the Battle House Renaissance in Mobile, Alabama. Downtown has charging as part of valet parking, apparently. We're going to stop at Wawa in 44 miles, and we'll stop in Robertsdale, Alabama at Buc-ee's, maybe grab some snacks or whatever. There's also a supercharger there that I'll just plug into briefly to say I've been there and charged there, because that's what I do. We're at 75% state of charge, so I'm about to unplug. We got our Starbucks, and good stop. So we're going to be getting to the hotel probably about 8 o'clock or so, which is nice that we won't get there quite as late, and we'll be downtown. So in the morning, we should be able to do a little bit of exploring and then hit the road. We may actually go all the way to Louisiana, just go a little bit farther west, because Bethany, I don't think, has ever been to Louisiana.
No.
So we'll just check another state off the list, I guess, and then look for some Starbucks mugs. So this might sound like a pointless trip overall, but we enjoy just getting out and exploring, even if we're not really doing much per se. We just like being out and seeing the world.
Yeah, better than sitting at home on the couch.
Yes. And we do it very reasonably cost-wise, because free charging, we use points generally for hotels, so it doesn't really cost us much.
No.
Which is nice. So let's unplug and get on the road. So we're here in Crestview. And then we're headed to Wawa in Pensacola. Robertsdale is the Buc-ee's, and then Mobile. So, like I said, we don't really need to charge. There's apparently valet charging, so we'll take advantage of that and roll in. Not dead, but no reason to roll in with more charge than necessary. And yeah, we'll continue on. Let's do another FSD start. Bethany, are you holding your coffee in a way that it's not going to spill if there's bumps? Bethany is notorious for holding things in a precarious manner and then wondering why they spill or fall. She's glaring at me currently. But am I wrong?
Yes.
No. And let's see if we do another parking lot to parking lot. Or I guess charger to charger. Maybe not at the Wawa since it's an IONNA site. It doesn't know exactly where the chargers are. I'll see if I can drop a pin exactly where the chargers are, if I can figure that out.
I appreciate that they extended the sidewalk this whole way, but they have not made it very
smooth?
Yeah.
Yeah. But see you guys in Pensacola at Wawa with IONNA. This is a brand new, very nice looking Wawa. I found the chargers, but FSD, based on the address and I guess even the waypoint in here, did not know where to pull in and pulled into the property next door to the Wawa, which unfortunately is on the right side of the road and is past it, so I'm feeling this is gonna be a little annoying to get back to. Unless there's like a way I can go around the block somehow. I guess I have to take a left and then take a left, but there's luckily not that much traffic, so that should be doable at this hour. But note to self, if you're coming here, turn where the Wawa sign is and don't trust FSD to go there, at least right now, because FSD doesn't know the proper entrance spot for this place. So we'll drive back to the chargers. I'll use auto park, but yeah, could not do a charger to charger here because of nav, not because of FSD. It would have happily parked in the wrong parking lot for me. And love to see that there's just a Grand Caravan parked for some reason in the chargers when there's a ton of other parking spots. I don't understand why people do that. That's just like, it's special. But it's actually a handicap van. So we'll plug in here for a moment, check out this brand new Wawa. It should be pretty nice. And then continue on. So here you can see 55% state of charge currently, 45.7 miles since the last charge. Our efficiency is tanking. Very open highways, fairly high speeds. That is a recipe for poor efficiency. We'll do 1A here on the ChargePoint app like last time, since I like to have the receipts. Yes. So authorizing. Flashing green means that we're authorized. $0.29 a kilowatt hour. That's actually really cheap. Wow. I think the site did just open, so that's probably a factor. Preparing to charge. There we go. So we'll charge a few kilowatt hour. And let's check out this site, and I'll grab some pictures too. So we're at the back of Wawa. We've got NACS A, 1, 2. So 2 NACS chargers, so 4 ports. And then we have 3 CCS chargers, 6 ports, which is pretty typical for IONNA. Not a fan of the all vehicle parking welcome sign. I would just not put any signage here personally if all vehicles are welcome. Otherwise, it's kind of just giving ammunition to people to park here and block chargers. Unless it's EV only signage, I just wouldn't put it. Here's the big boy transformer. This thing is massive. I don't know what size it is. So Gulf powers the utility here. Where's our size? See if I can find a label on here somewhere. Oh, there we go. A 2000 kVA transformer. So that is a big boy. And then we got the distribution cabinet here and the meter right here. So you can see 277, 480 volt, of course, and the distribution cabinet. So it doesn't have a label on it for the current, but like, I don't know, probably 2,000 or 3,000 amps, something like that. And of course, a very nice looking site. Also, as I'm throwing away our trash, it looks like there are provisions for trash cans, but not trash cans here. So that's a little bit interesting. Hopefully Wawa or IONNA fix that. There's another pad over there too. So I think they've thought of that. They just haven't done it yet. Well, off we go. Charged to 60%. Let's see if I can figure out how to get out of here, considering the parking lot was not really on the nav yet. Did a great job. Well, we're just about to pull into Buc-ee's. I've never been to this Buc-ee's before, but I know most Buc-ee's are a bit complicated as far as traffic flow goes. So I guess we'll see how this one is and if it's complicated or not, and how FSD handles it if it is complicated. Buc-ee's is just right up there. I see the Superchargers. I also see the Mercedes chargers. There's a Mach-E charging on the Mercedes ChargePoint Express Plus units. And the chargers are actually seemingly fairly close to the door. Oh, I guess it's 16 install. And 12 are free rather than 12 of 12, so it's not empty. I was telling Bethany that I thought the Supercharger was empty, but apparently I just had the wrong stall count when I saw the 12 were available. But doesn't look too busy. Like, not dead, but not crazy busy either. Let's see where it pulls in. Let it do its thing. Again, parking right next to someone, which is a little strange. I guess it gives it a better reference of where to park, but I would prefer if it generally chose to go away from other cars. But that was another charger to charger. I'm just going to do a brief plug-in and go, since we don't need to charge here, and we'll get to the hotel with 33% even with our current charge, since it's only 24 miles away. And then I'll pull closer and park, and we'll run into Buc-ee's. So let's do that. Just noticing, this is actually a Magic Dock site. So you can do that and have CCS, or you can do that and have NACS. So cool. So you don't really see too many of these, actually, the Magic Dock sites. Buc-ee seems to have a few. Thornton, Colorado is one of them. Looks like the name of this Buc-ee's is Beach Express rather than Robertsdale. This seems to be a relatively small Buc-ee's. There's also air here. I could have sworn that Buc-ee's did free air instead of paid air, so that's interesting also. Let's see, I'll add 1 kilowatt hour. It's at 0 still. One kilowatt hour. So it's unplugged. Seems silly, but I like to add it to my list of chargers that I've been to. And now we'll park there and go into Buc-ee's and check it out, grab some snacks and stuff, and get back on the road. Well, we got some Buc-ee's snacks and such. You looking forward to your sandwich, Bethany?
Yep.
What are you gonna do?
Clean my hands and eat.
Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna get going. We're gonna start self-driving, and we're headed to Battle House Renaissance by Marriott in downtown Mobile. If it's called downtown, I assume it is, but I'm from Charlotte, or I'm not from Charlotte, but I live in Charlotte, and we don't call the downtown there.
Yeah.
We call it uptown for whatever reason, because some marketing company decided some amount of years ago that downtown is out, uptown is in. And now uptown is out, I guess, because uptown is kind of a mess in Charlotte at this point, but it handled the not that busy Buc-ee's parking lot without any issues. Then we'll get back onto I-10. I guess this is the Baldwin Beach Expressway, which is why they call that the Beach Express. So I guess that makes sense. We'll see you guys at the hotel. It's valet parking, so we'll see how that goes. Well, before we valet, final stats, 24.5 miles, 1,202 miles, just under 300 watt hours per mile. We're at 34% state of charge right now. Well, we made it. This is a lovely hotel. This is the Battle House Hotel and Spa in Mobile, Alabama. A little dated, but it's historical and like very cool. Not like in a bad way. Apparently, it's not based on a Civil War battle. It's actually based on battle brothers that built or something this house, or this place. Established 1852. So that's very cool. Apparently, it was maybe a hospital at some point. I need to read about the history a little bit. Bethany, what do you think?
It's fun. I like staying in places that have like some other
yeah,
thing than just being a hotel.
Yep. And we had to valet the car, and apparently, so they'll charge the car, but they won't plug it in. So I have to go meet the valet guy and go to the car and plug it in, which is a little bit odd, but okay. I guess if that's what it takes to get it charging, I'll do it, but it's just a little bit odd. And then because I have Marriott status, we can go to the lounge, and apparently there's desserts, so we'll go check those out. So let's go do that, and then we'll come back, give you guys a rundown of the day. And we'll figure out our plan for tomorrow. Well, we got all checked in, dropped all our stuff off, and then I went down back to the valet, and then they walked me up to my car on the second level, third level. I don't really know. It was kind of amazing. We went out a different way than we came in, so I didn't really pay attention to the levels. But they have 4 Clipper Creek units, 32 amp J1772. There was one other Tesla charging a Model 3. Pretty good setup. I think the valet thing is pretty silly in my opinion. I don't know. It's a whole parking garage. There were tons of open spots. I don't really know why they have to valet instead of just letting you park. Seemed a little unnecessary, but whatever, I
I
guess.
think it also could be the evening, because from what we drove past, like, we're very close to, like, a convention center and things like that. So I'm sure they get very...
Sure, but I think they could have the option of valet or not very easily.
Possibly.
But anyway, charging at 32 amps, 208 volts, so we'll be fully charged in the morning, which will be quite nice. We're currently installing FSD 14.2.1, so we'll have that in the morning. We'll start the day with fresh stats on FSD usage. So that'll be kind of cool, because it shows you miles driven and miles driven on FSD. Bethany's delighted, I'm sure.
Because I find that so fascinating. It really is going to change my driving habits.
No, you're just going to use FSD anyway. And then we went to the club lounge, as they call it.
You can't make me move your arm because now I'm falling.
Oh. Phone's getting heavy. Got some snacks and drinks and stuff, so not a bad spot. And it's only 9 o'clock, which is, we're checked in and in the room and settled at 9 o'clock. That's early for us.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll hang out, get some rest. This will probably be the end of this video, I think. I don't know.
Probably.
Well, if it's not, I'll cut it here. If not, if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll see you guys on the next one. Thank you guys for watching.